Hello and welcome to this short video on educational video production. I'm Mike O'Donoghue and today I'm going to be talking about the production aspects of making an educational video. There are a number of points that we're going to be looking at, and these are what the production involves, some definitions from the literature that's available, what are the differences between video and television, and what is educational video? Does it have any distinctive characteristics, or are there any features that we have to pay particular attention to? So the first of these is about what production involves. So when we think of video production, we may think of a number of different things in our minds. A number of people may think about television studios. They come in big sizes like this studio here in Norway, or a smaller one that's used like this for news broadcasts which go live onto networks. We may think of studio-based interviews as part of the production process, and what skills the person carrying out those interviews actually need, and how they can develop them through production activities. We may also think of a production gallery, a technical gallery. We may think of a director in action selecting pictures and shots and deciding what the sequence of events is likely to be. Or we may think of the person operating the sound. And we may think of people doing other jobs, like a vision mixer. That's the person who selects the camera output which goes onto the broadcast or the recording. We may also think of other jobs that are involved, like a camera operator. You may see camera operators in studios on a number of different kinds of broadcasts. Or if we actually go out and about, we may see camera crews and sound people actually doing recording on location. So all of these things are different aspects of television production, and they're all required in the creation of making a video, whether it's educational or for some other purpose. But what does production actually involve? And are there any specific roles that the producer takes on, maybe in addition to some of these other jobs? Well, if we have a look at the literature, Ava Gabor is a professor, and he says there's a certain mystique about the nature of television production. The producer is in overall charge of the programme, particularly in terms of content, but also has responsibility if the programme is delivered in a form that does not satisfy the commissioning editor. So already we can see that the producer is one of many on this team of people who's involved in making a programme. If we look at more of the literature, Buck Horton has written a book about being a producer, and he says the producer is the person who has an idea and pursues it, or he learns of someone else's idea and seeks the means to realise upon it. A good producer, as an inspirer of creativity, must himself be creative. So here we get the idea as well that a producer is not only someone who films things or may edit things. A producer is someone who's a creative influence in the production process. And that also echoes in another quote from the literature that we've got from Catherine Kellison's book. She says, the producer propels a project from an uninformed idea to a final broadcast or download. Now that's an interesting idea because it links the beginning of the process, the uninformed idea, with the end of the process, which is the final broadcast or download. So, for example, the video that you're watching now is the end process of an idea that started some time ago. Now, if we think about this visually, we get the idea of a creative process for video production. It begins with an idea and it ends with the screening or the showing of a video or a broadcast somewhere. So for our purposes, video production as a working definition, we're going to say are those activities that turn an abstract idea into a visual reality. So from this, we get the idea that the video producer is the person who connects a beginning idea with the finished production, which is the broadcast or the screening of a video. The activity of a producer includes planning, production, coordination, and making sure people, the resources, the equipment, scripts, and every other detail is in the right place at the right time. A lot of producers also deal with budgets and a number of other facets of the process that takes that idea into a video or broadcast reality. So this leads us to think now, are there any key differences between television production and video production? Well, Millison and Owen have written on the subject, and they say the difference between video production and television production have become increasingly blurred. Most video production is concerned with non-broadcast programme making. Video productions are generally distributed via DVDs or online. So this material was always intended as a video production, so the audience and learners and anyone else who wants to view it can see it online. There's also other people who've written about this. Stuart DeLuca, writing in 1991, says that video means two things. First, it's the electronic technology used to record, transmit, recreate visual images, and usually the associated sounds. Second, it's the uses of that technology, especially the non-television uses. Television is more narrowly defined as the public use of video, the production and distribution of video programs intended for public consumption. So the focus of this material really is on video production. We don't plan to look at the quality of broadcast, nor of details related to the signal, nor other aspects of broadcasting. We're really looking at the processes required to make a good educational video that you may be able to see online or on DVD. Now this leads us to the idea of educational video and what makes a good educational video, because at some point you might want to create one. Well, it's a good point to think about what your educational idea is to start with. Without an idea, you can't start the rest of the process. So what is the original idea? What is the spark that will lead you on the chain of production to making an educational video? So in this video, we've looked at what production involves, we've looked at some of the definitions from the literature, and we've looked at some of the differences reported between video and television. Educational video will have its own definitions and themes, and that's something we're going to look at in more detail in the next video in this series.